Week 2 down. We have a new low, 60.9 kilos, and we started at 62.2, 62.5. So we're making progress, which is a really good thing. I definitely feel that my body's responding well. I'm getting leaner. My hunger has been strangely not as huge as it was the first week. I know that for the fact that usually the first week, every time I start something is just very challenging because I'm just panicking and stressed and planning and sort of adapting. But I just realized that this is something that I really want to achieve, really want to do. This kind of like transition from week 1 to week 2 and doing these reflections have really helped me to get much more organized and visualizing what do I want to become, what do I want to achieve. And so I feel really dialed in my goal. Sort of kind of understood that hunger is part of the process. It's going to happen. So if I feel hungry, I just don't panic anymore. Just drink some Diet Coke, chew gum, distract yourself, go for a walk, watch a movie, get to work, do more check-ins, edit videos, edit things, because I always have something to do. So it's a matter of having something to do that can deviate me from thinking about food all the time, which is hard because I love eating, and if I could eat all the time I would. But this is something I really decided I want to do, that I want to be very successful, and I feel like my body is getting that adaptation. I believe like week 3 is going to be better than week 2 because it's kind of like my brain is on the go mode, prep mode, let's do this. Training wise, my training was hard. It felt hard as well. And I had a drop in performance, very significant. My strength has plummeted. Even though I try to hit the same numbers and the end of when I was doing my building phase, it just felt like I was trying to push a lot harder with the same load. I've started reducing slightly the load so I can maintain the same level of effort and performance without feeling like I'm completely weak. But overall, things are feeling good. One thing that has helped me a lot is to have a brutal, consistent breakfast that is really filling for me, and it somehow feels that I enjoy it, but it's not as delicious that I can overeat on it. I have a base which never changes. Is 500 grams of bean sprouts that I put in a pan. Actually, that's a wok, and make it as a stir fry with some spices. So I use a little bit of garlic and a little bit of lemon herbs. Makes it taste really good. Obviously, salt. And after that, when I eat it, I add a little bit of a Splenda, and can't believe it's not butter, and nutritional yeast. So I eat with that, and it tastes really good. On top of that, I get about 300 grams of broccoli and cauliflower, sometimes just broccoli or sometimes mix both. Put it in the microwave, amazing. So we're already 800 grams in volume with less than 70 calories. And that is like a big part of me feeling satiated, but also the way I use these spices, it makes it really enjoyable. Now, I use potatoes, and I have about, it depends, but it usually is about between 50 and 200 to 250 grams of potatoes, depending on my hunger levels on the day. And if I want to squeeze in a little bit of lower carb wraps that I put on the toaster, I don't know, it just tastes amazing. Let me show you. Love these wraps, and this to me has been kind of like my quote-unquote soul food. And I say it because the way I eat it, I put it on the toaster, it gets so crunchy. Then I mix it with just a little bit of cottage cheese and sugar-free maple syrup with cinnamon. It's just so nice, and it's low calorie. I do enjoy it. I don't know, maybe for someone else could be something different, but I do enjoy that. And I was gonna say that is kind of like my base. What I tend to shift around and play with is the protein. Today I decided I wanted egg whites, but for example yesterday I had ground beef, so it was a little bit of a different choice. Sometimes I do have chicken breast, so I kind of like play with those three. What usually dinner is gonna be very similar. I'm sort of like trying to stick with a big staple of veggies that add up to 800 to 900 or even a kilo of vegetables, which they fit in my stomach. I drink a lot of this, and for some people may not be happy with that, but this is just been such a game changer for me. And yes, I can drink 2 of these a day, every day, and I still get really lean. So I do have some news which I want to discuss and share in terms of my plans for my competition. So what I wanted to say is that there is a chance, the possibility to compete in July, season B. I was preparing for season C, which would give me about 21 weeks for the first show, IFBB, in September. But I am thinking I do want to do the natural competition in July, because I feel like it potentially have a bit more chances to have better placing in a competition where everyone is going to be natural, versus season C. I have no guarantee that everyone is going to be natural, and there's no way to prove it. There's no way to make it fair. So I do feel like I could get in 9 weeks to that show in July, but it's very scary because it's literally just cutting in half the plan that I was meant to have for getting ready, stage ready for September. We'll just do my best. I'll just add a little bit more cardio, be much more strategic with my deficit, and see how things play out, so I can actually get to see if I can compete in July. I do really want to do it, but I want to be intentional about it and not just like, oh well, let's see how that plays out and see if I am ready. Because if that is the case, I'm not gonna do my best. So I want to actually think I'm going to prep and I'm going to do that show and see how I go. My physique is looking much better. It's responding really well, which I'm happy with. And again, I think the fact that I am keeping a lot of consistency with the same foods and a lot of volume, and really managing my fatigue and not overdoing it with training, which sometimes I can just overdo it because I love training. That is going to help me manage a lot more my appetite and my hunger. I'm currently training 4 days a week. I'm also doing about half an hour to 45 minutes of cardio after my sessions, and about 45 minutes to 60 minutes of more cardio the days that I rest. I haven't taken like a full nothing complete rest day in this prep. I just haven't had the need to do it just yet. And now that I have this cut in half prep and I have only 9 weeks to be ready, close to my stage weight, which is about 57 kilos. Cardio is going to be part of every day for the next 9 weeks, in addition to the diet, in addition to being super dialed in with my trainings. So focusing on lower body dominant mostly. So when I look at my total weekly volume, I am aiming for about 30 sets of glutes, about 30 sets for shoulders, 12 to 15 sets for quads and hamstrings. The remaining of the muscles, pretty much maintenance volume, between 4 and 8 sets per week, which is pretty good because the sessions are pretty long, just trying to get the lower body, all especially glutes, hamstrings, quads, and then the other muscles. So it's quite a lot. And I think I manage pretty well that volume. My body recovers pretty well. So I'm gonna keep doing that. It feels good and I'm recovering from it. And that is a description of my training so far. No changes to that just yet. Something else I need to get really good and dialing in is in my posing. The routine is a little bit different than my first posing routine. It has a lot more spins, and because it's new, it just feels like I have to learn it all over again. So I'm starting from zero and dialing in a lot more the posing endurance, because that is huge. I realize how hard can get when you get into comparisons, and sometimes you have to stay in the same front pose for 5, 7, 8 minutes while you're getting compared against the other athletes. It gets pretty tiring, so I need to practice a lot more just posing endurance and staying stable on the same pose without getting relaxed, especially in my core. I struggle a lot with that in my previous competition, so this is one big thing that I have to be really good at this time, and I am super focused on doing it. So another thing that I'm trying to be very consistent with is posing practices, at least on my own, twice a week, and every 2 weeks I work with my posing coach to do more of that feedback and more of that mentoring for getting that routine nailed down and making it amazing. This is all I had to share with you for week 2. A little bit of everything: nutrition, training, news for the next couple of 9 weeks and beyond that. I am very excited for you guys to follow along. I hope we can take some few things and few learnings and takeaways that you can apply to your life, even if you're not necessarily making any sort of prep or competing
whatsoever. There are takeaways that you go and apply it to your nutrition, to your fat loss phase, to your building phase, to your training, whatever. And I hope this is helpful. And if you enjoy this prep series, week update, let me know in the comments and follow along for the next update, which is happening next week. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the other side next week.